No. Wait from there. Wait from there. Okay.
Nice. Hello, welcome to the 5th episode of Baklava. In this episode, we have Patricia, our friend, joining us. And as you know, the episode's format is we have questions in two parts. The first part is some general questions, and then we move on to some Turan-specific questions about more cultural stuff. So, starting...
So for the first section, we called it ananas pe pizza, which is pineapple pizza, right?
in Romanian.
On pizza.
Pineapple on pizza, yeah. I asked for pineapple pizza for translation.
Yes, on pizza.
Self-correction.
And you listen to him, not me.
Sorry.
Have you said pineapple on pizza before?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you say pineapple or pizza?
Or pizza.
Or pizza?
Ananas or pizza.
Ananas or pizza?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, whatever. It's ananas pe pizza.
Okay. So, if you could magically master a skill, what would it be?
Downhill skiing.
Oh.
Downhill skiing. Okay.
Yeah, but like freestyle. So like, you know those videos when they're chased by avalanches? That's what I want to do.
Okay, that's
Wow.
very interesting.
Especially that one.
Because
Okay.
normal skiing, like normal downhill, I can do.
Mhm.
And I went through forest before.
Mhm.
Like it's scary if you don't have the right equipment and if you don't know it that well.
Mhm.
So that's.
You can give more skills, by the way. It shouldn't be one. Like you can.
Cooking.
But you cook well.
It could be better. It
Okay.
could be fancier.
It's fancy already. Okay.
That's a nice one. What about you?
For me, I don't know. I have so many skills that I think I want to learn. Maybe playing piano, guitar, many musical instruments, not just one, but playing on many musical instruments, let's say.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I would love that.
For me, I think it would be like being able to do advanced math. I really like that.
Very nerdy. Oh.
It is nerdy, but the reason is I like look at stuff and I don't understand anything from that. So I really like that. But maybe I think I can think of more stuff. Music is very good. Like if I could play an instrument, that would be awesome.
Mhm.
Probably piano as well. Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
Okay. So, do you have a secret dream to be famous for what?
I don't want to be famous. Too much pressure.
Agree.
For you?
Same here. I really don't think it's a good idea.
Same here.
Okay. Very boring.
Yeah, very boring.
What's your dream job, assuming money or talent are not problems?
I'll say, I think photography
Photography.
or interior design.
Okay, yeah.
Interior design. Interesting.
A fancy career path, actually. Yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense. If only if money wasn't a problem and you could like.
Okay.
What about you?
For me, I think photography is a very good idea. I really like it. I also want to do photography as a hobby, side job maybe. Not job, but just to take some photos, get some camera equipment for it. But I would like to be linguistic, to learn more languages, and then to just travel all over the world with their own languages, local languages, to learn
Like
them.
linguistics study or just learning languages?
No, linguistic studies, like as a job.
Humanities and stuff. Like
Yeah,
basic.
like social science, more
Ah,
social
okay.
science to understand them.
Mhm.
Like,
That's nice.
but like mainly learning the languages from one family and then the others to see the difference. Like to study that, to do research on it, like something like that. I mean, I don't think that you can earn much more money from there, but it's interesting, I think.
Okay. I actually discussed this question with another friend of mine recently, and my answer is VC, venture capital. I'd love to do investing if
But
I
you
had.
can make money.
Yeah, but the problem is not money here. So investing is a very interesting thing for me because you have exposure to the best ideas and like it's crazy. You can go everywhere you want with like the ideas, not with the places. So that's weird, but that's what I like.
Okay. If you were a meme, which one would you be?
So, you know Vines.
Wines.
Yeah. Okay, there's
With
this
which
one.
W or V?
V.
Okay.
They're like TikTok for
Yeah,
Yeah,
millennials.
it's MLL.
Yeah.
There's one with this lady, I forgot her name, but she's like, "Hi, I'm blah blah blah, and I'm your freestyle dance teacher." And then she dances like this. And I have a friend that he's a dancer, and he's like, "That's exactly how you dance." So that would be mine.
That's very good that you have it prepared in your mind. Because I think we were talking before the episode about this question, and both of us are like on the Spider-Man meme, the one that you're pointing
I'm
at.
like Spider-Man.
Yeah, and that's probably the most famous option you can go for. So.
Also, the girl in the back, the home house is burning, and the girl in front, I can relate to that as well.
That would suit you.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you think you're a better listener or you just zone out politely?
So it depends.
Okay.
Because
It means zone out
as
politely.
everyone knows, I have ADHD, right? So sometimes it's really difficult.
You didn't know it.
You didn't know it?
No.
I have about it all the time.
Okay.
What? Yeah, so sometimes I zone out because the topic is like boring. And if I don't have the necessary energy or like don't care that much about the person, then I zone out.
Okay.
But then before being a yapper, I used to be very, very like socially anxious and shy and a great listener. So I still have that skill. So most of the time I like to say that I'm a good listener.
But it's not related to ADHD. What's the relation?
It is, because you lose focus.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to pay attention to you, but then I just zone out.
Like if a conversation goes long, at some point you're like, my mind is not there. If it constantly
Then
changes.
maybe I have
Like
also
lectures.
ADHD.
Actually, the diagnosis for ADHD has like 10 times in the last few years.
Mm.
So, I don't know. We have all attention problems. Just
Yeah,
take it easy.
I think it's. I thought that it's everyone like that. I didn't think
mean,
that
it's
it's
also that-
special.
Like that part, yeah, because of
I also
social media.
get very bored if the
Social
conversation goes
media,
very long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's bad though. Like, we are watching less long YouTube videos right now than shorts and the reels on
Excuse
Instagram.
me, I was expecting you to see me read less books, not less longer.
No,
YouTube
like
videos.
apart from the books is
I
like
was just joking.
even the previous generation. For the next generation, like for 5 years back, we were watching like long YouTube videos as the movies, but now it's mostly shorts, reels.
I
Some
agree.
people watch TikToks. Yeah.
But I think it's reversible. Like when I try to like limit the amount of Instagram that I consume, it gets back quicker. Like instead of having attention for 20 seconds, I can like pay attention for something for a few minutes. So there's some hope.
But I
at
don't think
least.
that we learn anything from shorts or reels, but I was learning
Absolutely.
something from the long YouTube
Depends.
videos.
If you watch those history reels and like geography, you know.
But it's very small amount of reels in total.
Maybe forget. But you learn at the moment. Maybe you don't keep it. Yeah.
And you don't question. That's also another thing. For example, the things that about geography and history, most of the time I think they're wrong,
Yeah.
but we don't question it. I always check the comments to see like what the people say about
The
that.
problem is you question history too much. Like not everybody
No,
cares about it
like
as
they're
much as you
putting
do.
some stupid maps on about geography, and wow, it's like the fun music background and stuff. And I'm like, okay.
History
it's-
should be serious.
No, I know like some channels like specifically that they share once in 2-3 days, which is like not pushing like 5 in a day. So they're good quality ones, but they're very less amount, I think. So that's what I'm saying. But if you watch longer video, I think you can learn more as well with the context.
I see. I really don't understand people like following historical stuff on Instagram. It's such a like.
Why? What do you mean?
I mean, either you're like a history nerd, and then
Uh-huh.
you need to like.
No, but it's fun
read
fact.
it and, like-
Fun fact.
It's not fun for me. Like
You understand?
Why would I care about that?
For me, there's
Literally, history is not fun for me. You know.
No.
Except for like short periods and like very.
For me, there is a
contextual.
lamp over all the time here.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just lights
I'm
up. I'm
sure
like,
that is the case for
okay.
you.
Wow, it's very interesting. And then I start searching about it. For example, no, it wasn't. Okay, whatever. It's not relevant for here.
So, what about you in the, regarding the question?
What
Do
was the
you
question?
listen carefully when someone speaks, or
yeah.
you just don't?
I think I talk so much sometimes. That's a problem. I think that prohibits a bit to be a better listener. But when I am aware of it, most of the time I am. I think that I should be more listener than I am talking about it. So I don't zone out most of the time. No, I am a good listener. I would say yeah. But it depends on the topic conversation as well. Like as
Yeah,
Patricia
I
said.
think mostly depends on the topic. For me, it's similar. Like, it depends on the topic and also the context. Like, if someone is talking about something and I see they're passionate about it, I try to pay a lot of attention. I don't want to like zone out and be like, oh, what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
it depends on the topic. If it's something boring for me, like from the beginning, I'm probably easily just forget about it.
So, what's the most ridiculous thing you've ever Googled?
I don't know. My memory doesn't go that far back.
Most recent thing that you can
Most
think of.
recent thing. Yesterday I googled how do blind people dream. Does that count? It's quite random.
You haven't Googled it for so
No.
long.
Have you?
Yeah, I mean, I watched videos.
Every night.
I
that's
wondered,
what I
but
watch.
I
wondered,
watched
but
videos
never
about
searched.
that.
Well, good for you.
I mean, it's interesting.
What's
no?
the answer then?
Not
You don't
like-
remember?
They don't seem like it's not even
See.
darkness. It's just some. It's not the same darkness that you see. I think.
I think because they have some light, so probably.
Yeah, they don't
They
see
can-
basically their dreams as we see, because they don't have the things
It
that
depends because not everyone
the
is
scenes
blind
that-
from birth.
yeah,
a
that's
good-
that's different. Yeah, of course.
That's a very interesting situation if you think about it. Like, if the person has seen the world 10 years ago and they keep dreaming about things that were like happening 10 years ago, that's very interesting. Like, their view of the world in their brain is very.
They can even dream about the future because they have seen the scenes. They know how to
Yeah,
make them real.
but their perception of what is the world like cannot like evolve in line with reality. So it's just something internal. That's very different.
Yeah, true. So, this is your answer. I don't
Mhm.
have any answer anymore. Most of the time they are very ridiculous.
I need to search on. I need to check my Google again. I don't remember as
I
well.
cannot search again. It's always there.
It
We had this question before as well.
was
I saw.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, similar question, not the same question, but
Mhm.
I couldn't check. He checked. Everyone checked. I was like looking at the camera.
That's why my answer was something about dreams. Because Iman said that, and I'm like, it will be too suspicious now.
You are like
That's
prepared for
fine.
the interview for job.
I wish I would prepare that.
Nice one. These are some technical stuff. I don't care about them actually. Oh, okay. This is very like contextual. You should know the language to understand it. But there is a song, like a Persian song.
Mm-hmm.
For the Persian listeners, I'll say the name, you know the context. Mahalli Band Navaz. I was thinking about like this song and then I listened to it. I searched for it and I listened to it. This is super random. Maybe I could like translate the lyrics for you. Let me see. But this is the most ridiculous thing I can think of. Did you find anything?
No, it's all Amazon AWS. Wait, I'll find. Oh, yeah. For example, I mean, it's not the most ridiculous thing that I've searched, but one of them. Like recently, yesterday. So, I was searching for the name of Alaska origin. Where is it coming from? And it's from the language Inuit. Oh yeah, yesterday I was looking for the Greenlandic language. I was checking their language, and they have their own language. And most of the people are fluent in that language in Greenland, mostly. And in that language, mother and father is the same as us, like Turkic languages. I was so shocked. They also say Atta and Ana. Even we say it now in Azerbaijan. I'm like, shit, it's same. And it's American language, actually, North American language, Inuit. Like north of Canada, Greenland stuff. But they're not related language family. I checked some research, but they are not. But it was interesting. So I checked then Korean languages, Pannonian Avars. So yeah, it's ridiculous, but yeah, it can be accepted as
It's
ridiculous.
very to be expected.
It's pretty normal,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. I can't.
And
find
then
it.
I learned that now I learned many things. Then the name of Baikal Lake, you know the Baikal Lake, right? It's the most, it's the biggest sweet lake in the world in Russia. It's coming from Turkic word actually. It says rich lake. Yeah, whatever. It was interesting one, that's why I didn't know it as well.
Can I add to my answer?
Yeah.
I remembered. The most ridiculous thing I googled, I think, is Luigi Mangione, the pictures they took in jail of him,
Uh-huh.
but collage. Because on TikToks the girls were going crazy, right? So I wanted to find one of those to send it to someone. Do you think that's the weirdest?
Yeah, that's cool. That's very
Here,
cool.
something normal.
That's very cool.
I try to translate the lyrics. It doesn't transfer well to English. I'm not gonna do
Okay,
this service to the
okay.
yeah. It's a very great. Next question.
You go ahead with the question.
Okay. If you could delete one app forever, which one would it be? And why is it Instagram?
So as I said, it's not Instagram. I think it would be TikTok. Because in Instagram, I still have faith. Because there's a lot of like female influencers now that are trying to get it back to be more empowering and like actually teach you something instead of just TikTok, but on Reels. But TikTok, I dislike it. And I also think it's also a little bit political because they were presumably involved in our presidential voting a few months ago. So that just made it go lower in my eyes.
Interesting. But how is it different from like Instagram? Because I'm not on TikTok as well a lot. I think it's mostly like dances and fun stuff, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. But like, I feel like the stuff that's on TikTok is a little bit more stupid than on Instagram.
I see.
Yeah.
Why is Instagram for you?
It's not Instagram.
You're not on TikTok even.
No. I don't. I've downloaded TikTok for once, and then I just scrolled for 1 hour. No, not even 1 hour. Like 5-10 minutes, and then I deleted it. I hated that. It was
Okay.
very weird. It was very toxic feed. I was like, oh, there are people like this in Azerbaijan, because I was in Azerbaijan when I downloaded it, and it was very weird. People popping up in my feed. I was like, what's going on? I don't want to know this shit. And then I just deleted it, and I am very happy that I deleted it. But that's what I deleted app forever. That's for sure. But I would like to delete YouTube Shorts. Not YouTube, but only YouTube Shorts. You cannot update their trends. You cannot it's if you see one thing in YouTube Shorts and if you like it, it will show you all the way the same thing. That you will get bored.
That is true.
And but the thing about the short is you don't stop. You just scroll.
Yeah.
And it's very bad. You don't learn anything as well. That's why I would just delete YouTube Shorts.
And YouTube
Only
Shorts
short
is
part.
more addictive than Instagram, like Reels. It is for me. I don't know about like other people, but it's like shorter usually, so you go quickly through them.
Not only because of that, I think, but in Instagram you have many features. So you can go out to check, for example, the posts, the stories, because you get out of Reels. But if you get out of Shorts, you need to go to long videos, and if you don't want to watch long videos, you should keep watching Shorts. So it's much worse than Instagram. In Instagram, you go to messages, you check your messages, you go to stories, there are posts, there are like something to read. So it's many options.
I've actually removed my shorts. Like there are some third-party apps that you can install and remove the short section.
Maybe for Android.
Yeah, you should. Sorry. These poor iPhone people. Yeah. So for me, I think it's also Instagram because I don't use TikTok. Like I installed it and I didn't get it. The problem with TikTok, I think, is it's very like obvious that they are just trying to get your attention. Like Instagram is a bit more well designed. Like you can get some different sections and stuff like that. But TikTok is just one element of UI exactly pointed at making you scroll, nothing else.
But Instagram is very scary with the content trends. Like, for example, if you're talking about something, it pops up in my feed. It's very scary. And even if I am speaking in Azerbaijani and then switching to language, it just pops up in my feed.
It's a bit weird because technically it's not possible, but I have experienced it as well.
Yeah,
Like,
it's technically not possible. I even didn't give any kind of ads permission in Apple, any kind of audio permission in Apple, but it sometimes, I don't know.
Let's move on to the second part.
Yeah, hello.
Did you see what?
Hello, we're back for the second section.
Ok. Bună ziua, ne-am întors pentru partea a doua.
I thought you were gonna say it in English.
I know.
That was very
Romanian.
Romanian TV news.
That was my inspiration.
So in this section, we're gonna ask questions about a bit of Romanian culture, society, and also your background. What like? Well, you will see. So first question is, do you think Romanian society is changing more significantly after joining the EU? Did it affect for the period, or what do you think?
We joined the EU, I think, in 2004, but I was 2, so I don't know much about how it was before.
Well-positioned question.
Gen Z.
I'm just a baby. I would like to say yes.
Meanwhile, Patricia.
That's not the question. He expects you to know the whole history up to 100 years before that.
Yeah, I wanted to prepare for that, but you know.
Ask your second question.
Okay. So if someone was trying to test Romanian food for the first time, what is something that you suggest and you think they'd like it?
Okay, so I will start with sarmale. I know that one is a bit controversial because like the Bulgarians have it and them and
Inspiration from
everyone. But I say ours are better because it depends also on what you can eat because they're pork and beef, but like that gives them an extra flavor and the pickled cabbage leaves. So that's yummy. And then we have a lot of soups, which I'm sure are just Romanian, but like the name is just literally like what the soup has in it. We have this one, my favorite personally is with salad and how do you say smetana?
Smetana?
Yeah.
Sour cream.
Yeah. And sour cream, it's so good. And then for dessert, we have a lot of desserts. We have a lot of small cakes, but probably papanash, which is fried donuts with
fried donuts?
Yeah, basically. It's
I
like a
haven't tried
fried
that
donut.
one.
You have.
I have?
You tried fried and boiled.
Did I? Where?
Yeah, in Sighișoara.
Boiled donuts?
I mean, it's like dough, but you can either boil it or fry it. Traditionally, they're fried, but now we're having them boiled more because it's healthier.
Okay. That's interesting.
When we were coming down and then there was a small bakery shop.
No, it's the thing with jam on top and a sour cream again. And like
where did we try that?
In the, like, in my dad's city, we stopped at a terrace with a long table, and we all tried like the boiled version and the fried version.
Okay.
I feel like you still don't remember.
I don't know.
I'll show you a picture afterwards.
Okay.
Okay.
You're asking very good questions, very smooth questions, and look at the question.
Okay, I see why you're saying that.
What are your thoughts on the Roma community and their role in Romanian culture?
Well, I like to consider myself as not a not judgmental person. So I don't have anything against them because I know, like, just like Romanian people, there's some that want to work and there's some that don't want to work. And I appreciate the ones that want to work because they are starting from lesser privileged positions. So they have to work their way much, like, more difficult to get where we get easier. But then there's also the ones that don't like to work and go abroad, and then everyone thinks that Romanian people are gypsies and we steal and traffic women and all of that, which is not ideal. But I cannot judge like the whole community based on such
You
different.
cannot generalize.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. So you've been living outside Romania for like 1.5 years. You've been going back also sometimes. Do you still miss something like very fiercely? And what is that? Is it food, culture? What kind of stuff?
I've actually been out of my country for way longer because I did my undergraduate also
That's true as well.
abroad. Yeah.
That's true as well.
I think what I miss most is the people.
Mhm.
But funny enough, I left because of the people. But then Romanians are warmer than Western people. So sometimes I miss that. Like, even though they're judgmental when you walk past on the street, you know that if you need help, there's definitely going to be a good person, a kind person to ask for help, which you don't always feel in these Western countries. It's probably that. And the food, but the food not that much.
Yeah, I think it's similar for us as well. We discussed a similar question in the
Yeah.
previous episode. Like you have less privacy and like less of those privileges that you have in other countries, but also people are more warm and more easygoing.
Yeah, but I think in West also, if you fall, they would help. I
Depends
mean,
on the
I
country.
saw it in Nancy, for
If
example.
you literally fall.
Yeah.
I mean, probably, but like not falling. Like, I don't know, if you feel lonely and
Uh-huh.
you go to a restaurant,
Uh-huh.
in Western countries, they would just assume that, like, okay, you just want to have a meal by yourself.
Uh-huh.
But for us, probably some waiter would come and start being more friendly to you and, like, try to make you feel better because it's not usual for us to go alone to a restaurant. So they would want to, like, cheer you up a little bit.
I remembered my solo trip to Azerbaijan countryside. Everyone was looking at me very weirdly. What this guy is eating.
They did that as well.
Yeah, it was very weird. So I went to one of many restaurants, like to tea house or just normal restaurant to eat food, and everyone was asking the first question, "How many you are?" I'm like, "Just one. It's me." And okay, but I don't think that no one cared much that I was alone there. Like, no one would be extra kind for me or something like that. Even I think they were bad because I was taking the whole table, and then I think they're like, okay, this guy took all the tables because it was very crowded restaurant, and then I took the whole table by myself, ordering some food just for one person, and then I think they were mad a bit, maybe, but yeah, but I had so much fun like that. It was very weird to see people's face.
But also in
I agree
Baku
with
as
that.
well, or just the countryside? Because I think probably in Baku it's not like that.
I haven't tested in Baku going alone.
Yeah, I also mean mostly in, like, not as big cities, because in the big city, no one is that kind anymore. Like,
No.
they
I
don't care
tested
that
in
much.
countryside.
Mm-hmm.
That happened in the countryside, away from Baku. Not only countryside, away from Baku, in city and also from the countryside, like village. Yeah.
Interesting. I think in Iran it's not like that. Like maybe a decade ago it would be like that, but I can't remember like any instance where you go out like alone, and even in like small cities that you experience something like that, like a different behavior or like trying to cheer you up or anything like that. That's interesting.
Maybe it's not their behavior, but I also think that okay, I'm taking the whole table, so I am more attentive to the emotions that they have. I'm a bit maybe exaggerating because I don't think that they didn't have some vivid, obvious reactions to that. They didn't say anything. It was very okay. But I think it's very weird to be alone in the table when everyone is coming with their colleagues, with their family, friends. So that's also possible.
Mm-hmm. One thing that's interesting for me is how you people like treat, for example, a foreigner, someone that comes for like travel in your country, and they like notice that. How is the behavior there? Because I think in Iran it's kind of overwhelming. It's very positive, yeah. But I think it sometimes overwhelms the person. Like people are usually very kind and like try to be accommodating and stuff like that. But I personally, if it was going to another country and people were like so, I was like, why? I don't get it.
I watched a bunch of videos people going to Iran for visit, and they're taking pictures. They're inviting to their house for lunch. It's not like that in Azerbaijan, I can say it. Not at all in Baku. Maybe in countryside if you have some network with someone, connection with someone, maybe. But in Baku, I don't know. It depends where are you coming from. I mean, it's generally everyone. For example, if they are Turkish tourists, they are much more being invited to the place for food or something like that. Because, I mean, they're speaking the same language, so they have some common sense that they can talk about. Uh, and generally, it's okay. I mean, I don't think that there is some other kind of special behavior against tourists. It's just how it is in Europe.
Right. How about Romania? How do you feel like accepting like foreigners and like
Now we're more warm towards the foreigners, like tourists, but like it depends also where you go, because if it's very touristic places, people are mean, as they notice.
Saver.
They can be really rude if they wanna. But then if you go to more villagey places or family-owned businesses, then they're very nice to foreigners,
yeah.
and they're excited to get to know people.
I think I also can relate to that. Like the tourism in Azerbaijan probably exactly the same like in Eastern Europe. So in some places they can be very rude to tourists because sometimes they don't speak the language and they don't care. Like if they don't speak the language, they say, okay, go. I don't give a shit about that. And they don't mind to explain something, okay, why you shouldn't enter, for example, in a place with this behavior or dress, whatever. For example, I was in a church. They were very rude to other people who came from Asia and also from Turkey as well. It's not like sometimes they can be rude for everyone. And I was like, okay, I understood it because I was Azerbaijani and it was very weird for me because it was my first church that had that strict rules. And it happened to me in Azerbaijan. And but generally, if you go to main touristic places, you don't feel that much. But if you go a bit far than normal touristic places, and it can be a bit difficult, like the behavior that you see there. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's similar for us as well. Like in Tehran, for example, you wouldn't see someone, maybe very like occasionally, but it's not common that someone invites someone they don't know to their house. But probably in other cities, it's very common. Like we have a saying that says "Mehmun habib khodast." It means like guest is God's friend, you know. So people are like trying to be accommodating.
How do you say?
Mehmun habib khodast in Persian, or yeah, I think we say it in
You
Kurdish
say it-
as well. I'm not sure.
You use Arab words as well.
Yeah, habib is what Mehmun is not.
It's Persian word. I understood
Khodast,
the other Persian words, but not the Arabic word.
Okay. You should learn Arabic. So next question.
Wait. Yeah. Are there any common misconceptions about the Roman people that you would like to address?
Probably what I said before as well, that they all steal and they're all not like, they're all sneaky kind of people, and they would rather take the short, sneaky way out of a situation instead of the legal paved route, which is of course not true.
But are they also joining the same kind of schools and universities? Do you have like, for example?
That's the thing, they usually, I mean, most of them do not go to school because their parents, most people that decide to live like with the community, they don't go to school. They just make babies because for us you get money for the children until they're like 2. The mom gets paid, so they make a lot of babies to get income, and then the mothers and the children go out on the streets and beg for money, which is their main source of income, which they take back to the community lead, who takes most of the money, and then they have really low percentages of what they gather in a day. And I don't remember where I was going with this. What was your question?
Do they attend the same schools?
Yeah, so they cannot afford to go to school. They just go in this cycle of going to beg for money or leaving the country to go and like grow potatoes and tomatoes in Spain, or beg for money in like other countries. So usually they don't go to school. But then if they're that sort of Romani people that decides to go out of this community, then they also have this special places in school. They get bullied a lot, but they have we have this exam in 8th grade, and then in 4th grade as well. And you have the normal like 28 places in a class, and we have 2 extra ones for Romani people because yeah, like if they just want to go further, they have like 2 reserved places, so they don't have to take the exam because they know that they cannot necessarily pass it because they didn't go to school.
But they just want to educate them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know many languages. Actually, the question is something else, but I want to ask which one is your favorite? And do you have any established method of learning a new language? Like, do you have an idea how to learn a new language now, if you want to?
Oh, I think it's just because my mother is really good at languages, so I inherited that gift from her. So I just learn languages really easily. But it depends on what sticks to me and what doesn't. Because, for example, French, I studied it in 9th grade for a year, but it didn't stick that much. Like, I remember the numbers, the calories, and that was it. And then we did this extra semester in France, and I feel like I can speak French. I can apply to jobs in French. So I think it's just my talent for languages and a little bit of confidence as well. Because if you try to speak it and you feel confident that at some point you will be able to, then I think it's easier to learn.
And you also know German.
I know
C1.
German. Yeah.
Did you learn German or you just by exposure to the language?
No, I went to German kindergarten, and
okay.
then middle school, high school.
Wow, okay, I didn't know that.
But I don't
we
like
also
it.
saw that school, by the way.
Yeah,
Nice.
not very German.
Yeah, the first thing I thought was it's been a tough experience.
German
Probably.
church.
It was a tough experience.
German church behind it.
Wow.
It was nice. Very, yeah.
Okay,
Very
so you have learned most of them like through exposure, and like you haven't like studied language for a long time, but you know a lot. That's interesting.
Slightly, like
Yeah.
for example, for Spanish, I can understand it, but that's mostly because it's similar to Romanian, rather than have studied it than like actually know it.
That's interesting.
So, the last question. How do you switch between languages when speaking? And do you have a favorite language to express certain emotions or ideas?
How I switch between languages?
Yeah, for example, if you're speaking English and then switching to Romanian, or if you were speaking in German and then switching to Romanian,
I
or
switch really badly.
yeah,
I can sometimes my brain just doesn't. It stops. It doesn't work in any language for a second, and then it's like I'm trying to speak English, but the French word comes to my mind. I'm like, I didn't know I know that word.
Yeah, it happens to me as well sometimes. But the last part, the favorite language to express certain emotions or ideas.
Emotions, I think it's easier in English because in Romanian I didn't used to express emotion that much, so it's easier to express it in English because it feels less real in a way. Like it's easier for me to express it in English because I feel less judged. Because in English it's like everyone that speaks English expresses their emotions, and like Western people, and how I went to the UK for 3 years, they always discuss feelings, emotions, everything. So it's easier in a way to express it in English because you feel less judged. But then in Romanian, if I say it, it feels more profound and serious in a way.
Yeah, I think it's something that I feel it as well. Like the language's own capacity based on the cultural stuff for like expressing something. For example, as she mentioned, like for me, when you talk in English, you have a level of abstraction. So you kind of feel more like open to discuss stuff with a bit of a distance from the language cultural background. It's like more easier for you to talk about stuff. That's
What kind of emotional topics you refer to though? Because I cannot relate that much.
For example, if I want to talk about how I feel, right? The best languages, words that come to my mind are probably in Persian and Kurdish. But the way that I can like formulate it and express it in a way that's like understandable for people, it's better in English, you know. Like the way that you can make other people understand it, because of your perception of judgment in different languages. So that's something that I've also experienced.
For me, I think if it is specifically about me. For example,
Mhm.
it's better for me to express it in Azerbaijani.
Mhm.
But if it is something about situation, it's for me very easy with English because I think I can explain it more deeply and more giving much more context on it about the situation. But if even if I am inside the situation, but it's much more easier for me to speak it now in English. But if it is something like deep down emotional feelings or whatever, I think for me it's easier in Azerbaijani
Mhm.
because I think I was expressive in both languages to talk about the emotions and for ideas. But for ideas, I think for me now it's better to do it in English more than Azerbaijani because I think I am now getting all the information about for thinking the new ideas. I am feeding the input with English, so the output is in English as well, basically.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So that was the end of our second section. Thank you, Patricia, for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. You can listen and watch Baklava on any platform that you listen and watch our podcast. Thank you again once more for joining us. Goodbye.
Do you want to say anything lastly?
No.
Okay, bye.